You know, guys, Gamescom is growing in popularity every year. Ever since E3 got canceled, we haven't gotten another E3. I think that Gamescom has become, without question, a staple event that's happening now within the gaming landscape. And you can, obviously we have Summer Game Fest, you have the Game Awards, Gamescom now, and Jeff Keighley heading this whole thing up. I think it's absolutely incredible. These, events, award shows, things of that nature really continue to put a spotlight on the gaming industry as a whole. With Gamescom 2025 coming up, we're about a month away from this event, opening night live. I want to break down, Gamescom. For those of you, obviously, who don't know what Gamescom is, we're going to talk about it and some games that we could very well get announcements of as we move into, the latter half of 2025, and things that we can expect this year, games that we can expect in the future, and maybe some games that we're hoping to see within the horror realm at Gamescom 2025. So let's get into it. So guys, the big event at Gamescom is none other than Opening Night Live. Once again, you will be able to be there live as host Jeff Keighley leads you through an outstanding show with thousands of fans on site in Cologne and millions of digital viewers. You will experience new game announcements, trailer and gameplay reveals, talks with prominent guests, a first look at Gamescom events, and much more. And obviously, guys, as Gamescom has been going on, and we haven't, had E3, I love that these exist for us, because when I think about Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Game Showcase, we talk about, State of Play, the Game Awards, Gamescom. It's awesome because when certain things fell out, that being like E3, new things are kind of coming into the fray. Newer things, I should say, in the form of Gamescom. They're completely sold out, though, guys, which is crazy awesome to see. It's completely sold out. I mean, look, I think that Gamescom is going to be something really special this year, because we're going to have a lot of games that are more than likely going to get announced here. Now, are we going to have more games announced here than maybe some of the other shows like Xbox Game Showcase and things of that nature? It's hard to say. But the dates of this are August 19th. So like I said, a month away. 8 o'clock p.m. is when it starts. And they're going to be showing us all the new games, probably existing games, and one of those I believe that they're going to show us, guys, some updates on, potentially. Dying Light the Beast, I think, that's a game that comes, I believe, the 22nd, so a few days after. I would not be surprised at all if Dying Light the Beast showed up and just had like a, day one launch trailer or something of that nature at Gamescom, just to remind people that the game is only a few days away. So I would not be surprised about that. The next one that obviously many of us here on Horror Theory want to see is State of Decay 3. I would love to see an update here. Now, part of it doesn't make a lot of sense for it to be shown at Gamescom versus the Xbox Game Showcase, because it's an Xbox Game Studio, IP. It's an Xbox exclusive right now. And so I feel like Xbox would want to show off things for State of Decay 3 at their own, events. However, is there a possibility that State of Decay 3 shows up? Is there a possibility Gears of War E-Day shows up? I think it's possible. I think it's unlikely, though. I think that when we talk about Gears of War E-Day, that is going to be shown as a direct with the Xbox Game Showcase in 2026. I think like they'll have the normal Xbox Game Showcase, and then their direct right after will be a full-blown, deep dive into Gears of War E-Day. State of Decay 3, I would love to see it here at Gamescom, because the longer we're going here, the more I'm feeling we're not going to see State of Decay 3 in 2026. More than likely, if it did come out in 2026, it'd be like fall of 2026. Then you got Gears of War E-Day more than likely releasing around that time as well. So I just feel like Xbox is going to want to spread their games out a little bit. But nonetheless, State of Decay 3 would be, one of, like, top of the list of games that I would absolutely love to see here at Gamescom 2025. Gears of War E-Day, that would be awesome. But some other games that we might see, guys. We were just talking about Routine, a game that is getting closer and closer to the conclusion of development. And I think that there is a possibility, slight possibility, that Routine will show us a new gameplay trailer, maybe a release date trailer at Gamescom. Once again, kind of unlikely. We just got an update from them. Maybe they're planning this because they're going to be showing us something at Gamescom. But I'm thinking we're going to hear more about Routine next year, or maybe even later this year from Lunar Software. But nonetheless, that would be awesome. That would be something to keep your eyes on at Gamescom, is Routine. The next one, my most anticipated game of the future, when we talk about within the horror realm, is OD, Overdose, by Hideo Kojima himself. And I think that there is a good opportunity we may see OD at Gamescom this year, and here's why. OD, and Hideo Kojima, he's very strategic in how he, when he releases his trailers, when he's releasing information to all of us. Obviously, Death Stranding 2 just released to the world. And now I would say, sure, the part of Kojima Productions is working on, Death Stranding 2 to make sure everything's polished, refined, things of that nature, make sure everything, continues to work seamlessly. But I feel that part of the team now is working on OD. Now, there's two things here. The first one is that OD, guys, we haven't heard much of since it was announced. I believe it was a couple of years ago at the Xbox Game Showcase, I think it was. They're using the Xbox Cloud gaming here with OD in one way, shape, or form. Hideo Kojima calls it overdosing on fear, game over, things of that nature. Reminds me of Saw a little bit. But I'm so intrigued by this title because I've seen the trailer over and over again. And that initial trailer, it didn't really give us much, but it really gave us a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, anticipation building around OD. Could we see it at Gamescom? I think we could. I think we could get an update on it. Now, you might be thinking, well, we're probably not going to see it there just because it's another Xbox title that they're using the Xbox Cloud, which is really interesting, by the way, because Hideo Kojima's been working with PlayStation now for a while, and now he's branching off and he's working with Xbox on OD, which is going to be fascinating. If they don't show it at Gamescom, I think we will get an update on OD at the Xbox Game Showcase next year. The reason that it might be too soon is because they just are finishing up, obviously launching Death Stranding 2. And for them to show us something from OD, they might want to take their time a little bit before they show us more information about it, unless they're pretty far into development, which it's hard to say if they are or not. But, Hideo Kojima, what he does really well is he keeps his team on a schedule where they're able to hit their deadlines that they need. They're able to, they don't really go, you don't hear them going into many cycles of development hell. Hideo wants to get these projects done, finished, released to the world, and then he can move on to the next project. So I think OD, we're going to be hearing something within the next year. If we don't hear it at Gamescom, I believe within the next year, we will be hearing something from OD. What else? Well, we've got Silent Hill F coming. Silent Hill F, guys, the up-and-coming title from Konami, looks absolutely disturbing, psychological. Looks pretty creepy, to say the least. I think Silent Hill F is a game that could really bring us back into the Silent Hill universe in a major way. Because when we think back with Hideo Kojima specifically, because he was working on Silent Hills with PT, the playable teaser that we got was absolutely unnerving. It was psychological. It was terrifying. I loved that playable teaser, that demo that they released. That was with Hideo Kojima before Hideo, parted ways with Konami and started his own thing, and insert Death Stranding. And you had, of course, Norman Reedus working with Hideo Kojima on Death Stranding, but they were working together on Silent Hills. So we've been waiting and waiting to hear information with Silent Hill, and I think that Silent Hill F could be something really special. Now, is it going to be as great as Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills? It's hard to say, guys. I mean, it's really hard to say. It looks good, though. It does look good. It looks creepy. I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to hear more information about it. What else could we hear from Gamescom? Well, there's a couple of games that I think that we could very well hear from. It's hard to say, what's all going to be shown. But I would say that there's a high likelihood we could get a Chronos: The New Dawn release date trailer. Because at this point in time, guys, we're getting more and more information about Chronos: The New Dawn. I'm very excited about it. Many of you guys and girls out there know I'm a massive, Dead Space fan. Love the Callisto Protocol. We're going to be talking about that here on the show. Chronos seems to be like a spiritual successor to those, but it also seems to be, a little bit of Silent Hill, a little bit of Resident Evil. They took a lot of inspiration from John Carpenter's The Thing. And so I'm telling you, I believe that Chronos: The New Dawn will be at Gamescom this year, and I think that they will give us a release date trailer because they're stating from all their marketing that it's going to release fall of 2025. So obviously, more than likely a September, October release date. I would say October would probably be their best, time frame to release the game, because you have Silent Hill F coming out in September. You've got Little Nightmares 3 coming out, I believe, in September. So September's starting to kind of get packed up. But I think October, and specifically around Halloween, Chronos: The New Dawn could make a splash, a serious splash there. So Chronos: The New Dawn is definitely one that I would love to see later on this year in October. Another one that I'm interested in, without question, is Hellmart. Hellmart is a FNAF-inspired game, guys, where you basically run a market during the day, and there's there's something wrong with the people. There's this drain clown that comes after you at night. Some of the people come after you at night as well. It looks like a pretty, has a little bit of some comedic elements to it, but it looks like a pretty creepy experience. I'm wondering if we're going to hear more about that here at Gamescom, because Hellmart, I think that they're probably, it's hard to say how far along into development they are. If we don't hear about it at Gamescom, maybe we'll hear more about it next year. But there really are, guys, a lot of games that are in the pipeline that I'm really excited to hear more about, but also get concrete release dates for, as well as new games that come into the fray, new horror titles that come into, I'm sure they're going to have, as they state here, new game announcements, trailer and gameplay reveals. So I just think that we're going to see some things that maybe we haven't heard of in a while, like Routine. And then the new stuff that we see is going to be really interesting. And I'm hoping that we get a good amount of horror releases, or I should say reveals, at Gamescom. But I'm very excited about Gamescom this year, guys. I think that there's going to be a lot here to be excited about. Even just the show in general. The production quality is incredible. And Jeff does an incredible job with hosting Gamescom. And so I think there's a lot of horror games that could very well get announced here, or at least we get some concrete release dates, whether it's for State of Decay 3, whether it's for Chronos The New Dawn, which I think Chronos is probably the one that we're going to be seeing here, and they're going to tell us, yes, this is when it's releasing, October of 2025 or whatever. And I'm totally cool with Bloober Team taking their time with deciding when to, when to create the release date, right? So ultimately, though, guys, I would love to hear all of your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. What games are you hoping to get announcements for? Some trailers, updates, or gameplay reveals for at Gamescom this year? You guys heard my list. What's your list? Let me know in the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts.